Hey guys, welcome back to the GearsNTool channel, and today we are reviewing the Wuben Gecko E61 tactical pen light. So this is a pretty cool light. I want to first start by showing you guys the box because if you're looking for a present for somebody, this could be kind of an easy solution because it's got a really nice gift package that comes with the light. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing so you can see what you get when you order one of these. So kind of an Apple experience. You get kind of a fancy box and kind of a nice experience altogether. So when you open it up, you got the pen, some instructions, some ink refills, and then the optional pen tips that you can put on. So let's go ahead and pull the pen out here and do a quick look over of that, and then we'll come back to some of the accessories. So there you have it, the Wuben Gecko E61 pen light. And it's a pretty cool pen. I haven't seen one like this before. It's got some pretty unique features, and let's go ahead and dive right into it so you can see what this thing's all about. So this pen is 5 3/4 inches long and about a 1/2 inch in diameter, and then at the pocket clip here it's 11/16 wide. So pretty compact package, pretty comparable to other larger pens, like maybe a laser pointer would be a good analogy for how big this pen is, but you can kind of see my hand. It's definitely not too big to write with. I think it's a great pen if you're trying to write outside with gloves or something like that, because it's got some knurling and stuff on the tip here, and it's a little bit bigger in diameter. So a great pen for outdoor use, and that kind of leads into why it has lights as well. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. But the total weight of this pen is 1.75 ounces, so it is a little bit heavier than what you would find from like a plastic rollerball type pen. But for a metal tactical pen, that's about right. 1.75 ounces. It's made of all aluminum construction, so it's going to have a little heft to it. But 1.75 ounces is very reasonable. The pen comes in 2 different colors, black and blue, and the version that I chose to get is black. And just in full disclosure, this pen was sent over to me by Wuben for a unbiased review. And I always kind of appreciate it when a company has enough confidence in their product that they'll send something to me without giving me any kind of input on what they want me to say or do with it. I could give them a bad review if I wanted, but it kind of speaks volume to the confidence of their product that they send one over. So thank you, Wuben. And with that kind of out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the tip here. So currently I have the glass breaker tip on, and to switch to the other side of this tip, it's kind of got a swivel. You pull out, you kind of hear it click, and then the whole cartridge assembly will pivot. And then you push it back in to lock it into place. That way it doesn't wiggle or anything like that. Pretty solid lockup. This is what it looks like when you kind of write with it. So it's kind of a fine tip pen, which I like, and it's very sturdy. You don't get any like mushy feeling from the pen tip, which gives you a very kind of precise movement on the pen. So I do like how they implemented the pen cartridge design, so you can quickly switch to whatever the other option is without having to fiddle with a bunch of small pieces. So that's a huge benefit, especially when you're using this outside, which is kind of what I see this pen being used for. You don't want to be fiddling with a bunch of little teeny pieces and stuff. So really like the kind of clever design that they have with the invertible cartridge there. While we're on the pen tip, let's go ahead and take a closer look at how it works. So to refill the pen, just unscrew the cap and the cover comes off, and then has these little refill cartridges, and you could probably make these yourself out of a standard ballpoint pen, but you really don't need to. They gave you 4 additional ones in addition to the one that's already in the pen when you order it. Just put that in backwards there, so you gotta get it in the right way for it to work. And you just put the cover back on, and away you go. So that's how you refill the pen. And on the other side, I currently have the glass breaker tip, which is just kind of a kind of ball bearing tip. And same thing, you just unscrew it, and you can swap it out for either the stylus tip, which would work on like an iPad or BlackBerry or anything like that. So stylus tip, looks pretty good. Flip it over, and you have your pen back. So I do like the overall design. Something I do want to note is on this side, there is no hole for the ink cartridge to go in. So the ink cartridges have to go into this side. Just the way it's designed, the ink cartridges can go only into one side. The other accessory option that you can put in is this forever pen type thing, or I also use it as like an etching type pen. Whenever I'm working with aluminum or something like that, I like to give it a quick coat of black or dark blue spray paint, and I can use a hard tip like this to etch in whatever I'm trying to lay out on my workpiece. So I do really like those. This would also probably work as a glass breaker. I haven't tried it for obvious reasons. I don't want to break my car window, but you might not even need the glass breaker. You might just be able to keep this forever pen in there and use that as your glass breaker as well. So one other benefit of having this kind of cartridge design where it flips around It's if you're in dress slacks or something like that and you don't want to get kind of ugly black or blue staining from the pen leaking, you can just flip it over so you have a non-ink tip pointing down and keep your nicer clothing in good shape. Okay, so that wraps up the pen side. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the light. And this is kind of a cool light. It both works as a kind of a wand light, but you can also pull it out, and this is a feature I think most people use, and use it as a writing light. This kind of a light bar can come out and stop at various angles. It doesn't have to stop at any specific angle, but it kind of has soft stops at the 90-degree increment. So at 90, 180, and 270, it kind of has a natural spot it wants to stop. But that's not to say you couldn't set it to other angles if that suits your preference. So pretty cool features. So you can set it to whatever angle you need. So cool. To activate the light, there's a power button. You just press it and the light comes on. And the first mode is low mode, and that is 3 lumens, which will last for 15 hours. Press and hold. Now you have medium mode, which is 30 lumens, and that will last for 2.5 hours. Press and hold again, and that's 130 lumen, and that's getting pretty bright. And this is my studio, so I have a lot of light, and it's definitely a bright light. And this will reach out if you're trying to find something in a dark room or something like that. This would definitely be powerful enough for that. And this will last for about a minute, and then it will start stepping down to conserve power until you get to the medium mode, which is that 30 lumens here, which is a great brightness for writing tasks. There's a couple other modes this light has. If you press the power button twice quickly, you'll get strobe mode with a red and blue light that quickly blink to attract attention or indicate that, it's kind of like a beacon, let people know where you are. So that's kind of nice, especially if you're in a construction environment or working on a road crew or something like that. You might really want something like this. You could clip it onto your shirt and be walking down the road and people will easily be able to see that someone's there. So that's pretty cool. Press and hold to get back to the standard light modes. Something else is the light will always come back on to the last power setting you had on. So it has a memory. So let's set it to the low mode real quick. So this is low mode. I'm going to turn it off. We turn it back on. It comes back to low mode. So the memory is pretty cool. And that also works with strobe. So turn it off. Turn it back on, it's back into strobe. So I do like lights that have memory feature. You don't turn them on, they just immediately blind you. Or if you want that, it'll remember that. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get back to a standard light setting here. There we go. Now this light also has lockout. So if you quadruple press this light, turn it off first. If you quadruple press this light, it'll blink, letting you know that you're in lockout mode. And that means you can't inadvertently turn this light on, which is what you want when you're traveling or storing this light long term. Again, to get out of lockout mode, you just quadruple press. It'll blink again, and it'll come back on. So those are kind of the features of the light. To charge the light, you just need to use a micro USB-C cable. They do provide one. It's about 2 feet long. So the USB charging port is just in the tip when you open it up. And to charge it, you just plug it in. When you're all done, unplug it, and you're ready to go. This light has one more feature that I almost forgot about. There's a magnet in the side of the light, which is really handy if you're trying to light something or a work area that you're working on, but you don't want to hold the light. You can just stick it to something metal. So here's my Leatherman wave, and it just sticks right on. And it's a pretty powerful magnet. It's not going to come off there without you physically taking it off. It doesn't want to slide. I mean, this is a highly polished finish. It doesn't want to slide down or anything like that. So pretty cool. It's got a magnet on there, so you can use it as a little makeshift work light. And that's great if you're, again, working on a construction site or something like that where you don't have a dedicated workspace and you're kind of improvising wherever you're at. So good all-around light. I really like the features that this offers, and I think it's got a lot going for it. All right, so that was the quick and dirty walk around of this light. Who do I see this light being a good fit for? Well, first of all, I think if you are in the construction industry or the manufacturing industry, anywhere where you find yourself outside frequently and maybe you have to take some notes down, like an inspector or something like that, this is going to be the perfect light for you. With this all-metal construction, it's super rugged. It's going to be a really good light for you to use in the outdoor environment. This would also be a great gift idea for somebody. It comes in a pretty nice box and packaging, so you don't really need to do a whole lot, and it's a complete kit. It comes with multiple tips, it comes with refills, and everything you really need to get up and running with this light. So you really get the complete package here. I think it would be a good gift idea for someone who, again, like I said, is an inspector or something like that, who works outside a lot in the dark, but needs to be writing and taking notes frequently. Okay, so that was the quick and dirty walk around this light. What are kind of the pros and cons of it? Well, there's a lot of pros here. There's a lot to like. First is you can kind of adapt this light to suit your needs. You know, if you don't need a forever pin, you just take it off, add something like a stylus or a glass breaker, you know, put it right back on. And, you know, it's a very adaptable pin to whatever your use case scenario is. Another pro that I like about this particular pin is if the tip that writes, if you don't want that to mark your pants or something like that, all you have to do is just flip it around. And then it's kind of protected and it's not going to leak all over. So not that these particular cartridges leak, but I do have those issues with some other pens. So pretty versatile there. The light function is the big selling point. I think anyone who works outside, who might be an inspector, construction worker, who works with blueprints, stuff like that, something like this is going to be a huge benefit for someone like that. You can either use like a wand light or an actual pen light for when you're writing. So very versatile pen. It has a lot of good things going for it. What are the cons? Honestly, I don't see a lot of cons for this pen. The two things that could be improved on this pen is have a little bit longer runtime on the light, but it is a really small battery, and have a little bit larger ink refills for the pen tip itself. That being said, this is a pen that does a lot, and you only have so much space to work with. And I think if you address either of those issues, you would compromise the existing design and would have to kind of go back to the drawing board and start with something different. So for what it is, I think it's a really well-designed and well-thought-out pen. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button below. It helps the channel out a lot. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you're first to be notified when I release new videos just like this one. Cheers!